Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. A flood watch in effect until 11 p.m. Potentially severe storms today, with the main hazard being damaging winds, but some hail is also possible and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. But the main concern will be flooding in the watch area until 11 p.m., where 1 to 2 inches or locally higher is very possible in this time frame. But then we quiet down Tuesday and Wednesday. Even during the day, Thursday should be mostly sunny. It would be later in the evening that widespread showers and storms return to the region. This evening, we have a front arriving from the northwest, and ahead of it is where the severe potential will be, mostly before 10 p.m. Non-severe storms may linger on the backside of that front overnight and then gradually push eastward through the day on Tuesday. But daytime accumulation, generally less than 1/10 of an inch, shouldn't be quite as wet of a day. Some fog possible overnight into Tuesday, then again overnight into Wednesday morning. Flies here W forecast. It starts at home. D.C., Atlanta, New York, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach. These areas seeing some lingering showers and storms from the same system Tuesday, then clearing out Wednesday and trending warmer at the end of the week ahead of the next rainmaker. Panhandle forecast. New Cumberland 57 tonight. Moundsville and Morgantown 59. We'll see about 76 to 79 here for our Tuesday. Davis 56 tonight. A bit milder toward Martinsburg's 64 low and 82 high. Back to Davis for a 67-degree high on Tuesday. Elkins 58 tonight, then 73 for Tuesday. Looking toward Parkersburg, Ripley for just shy of 80. And in southern West Virginia, mid-50s to low 60s tonight. Red 57, hot. Dry out Wednesday. Rain returns late Thursday and will stay active through the weekend.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Hi, everyone, and good evening. We welcome you into a Monday edition of the CityNet statewide Sportsline, June 22nd, 2026. Brad and Greg with you this evening, and we're glad you're joining us. However you may be listening to the show. Coach Hunter, good evening and welcome to you.
Good evening, Brad. How you doing?
Doing great. Excited to be back in the saddle here, but stunned it is June 22nd. Not sure how that happened as we are flying through the summer, which I know technically just began yesterday, but we are breezing through the off-season, which there is no off-season,
no.
Coach Hunter, and we're going to get into that a little bit. Coming up, we've got football recruiting to talk about, a couple more verbals for the Mountaineers. Coach Hunter has all of the details on that. We're going to touch here shortly, though, on the news today that shocked the college basketball world. This was not on a lot of radars. I did not hear a lot of whispering about the move that was made today. We're going to dive into that and what it means moving forward. West Virginia basketball, speaking of college basketball, underway. I was over there today, Coach Hunter. Got to look at the
a little
fellas.
Preview.
Oh, we might do a little preview tonight of the boys that were out there. We're running around.
Well, the only thing I can decide, and I haven't seen them yet, but just looking at pictures and some that have been there are a lot of really tall guys running around on the court.
There's some big boys.
Yeah.
There's some big boys. Amadou Sini is a large human being. I'm not breaking news right there,
No.
but there are some big boys. We're going to get into that coming up here in just a little bit as well. And, of course, tonight the College World Series wraps up a winner-take-all final between Oklahoma and North Carolina. Tonight, we'd like to hear from you as well. Text line's open, 304-TALK-304. That's 304-8255-304. That's 304-8255-304. Would like you to weigh in, whatever you want. Any question, comment, we'll take them all and get into your texts coming up here in just a bit. But, Greg, let's talk about this basketball news that came out earlier this morning, and that is that head coach Dusty May of the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines is out at Michigan. He is off to the NBA. Reports are that the Dallas Mavericks are going to make him their next head coach, which is, I'll get to in a minute on the surprising side of it. Is it surprising that Dusty May went to the NBA? No, probably not. Is the timing surprising? jaw-dropping to me. A day before the NBA draft, college basketball practice is underway. The portal's been closed for 2 months. So, yeah, the timing to me was the part that was shocking. Interesting West Virginia connection. The last college basketball coach to jump from college to the NBA, one John Beilein. I wouldn't have been surprised today if Beilein's name would have circled back and popped up as a potential interim, but he's not. The school has named Mike Boynton the interim head coach at Michigan. Now, that name will sound familiar to you, of course. He was the Oklahoma State coach for 7 seasons. So he is in as the interim. So a lot to digest here, Greg, but namely the defending national champs, I can't imagine, thought they would on June 22nd be dealing with a program upheaval like this one.
No, I mean, it certainly is surprising. Guy that obviously hit the pinnacle of college basketball success this past season has really done a remarkable job in turning the Wolverine basketball program around. Certainly it's had a lot of success in history, but recent years had not until he got back there. And all of a sudden, boom, flipped the switch, got him going. And I guess the surprising thing, and you can get into it a little bit more, but the reason they made such a quick jump into Mike Boynton, and again, it's interim, I understand, but they've got a really good group coming in this year.
Top 5 roster by most accounts.
Yeah, so not only they win a national championship, but they look like they're poised to be really good again next year. But every one of those guys is, I mean, even with Mike Boynton, you're still available to go into the transfer portal. But if you want to keep those guys at all, certainly money's going to help, right? I mean, what you promise them financially, but then also trying to keep an existing coach on staff who's on staff there. So that's got to be the reason, because no offense against Mike Boynton, because he had a couple of years at Oklahoma State, they were good, but boy, it didn't end well for him with the Cowboys.
It did not, but I tell you what, Greg, you go back, and I was doing that earlier today, you go back and look at some of the scenarios that other schools involved in that probe, that federal probe, and how nothing happened to Kansas, nothing happened to LSU.
Yeah.
Arizona had an assistant go to jail, yes, but nothing happened to the program, nor Sean Miller. You can go right down the list. Did I say Kansas? Nothing happened to Kansas. You can go down the list of schools that were involved that nothing happened. The only one that externally by the NCAA got put a postseason ban on from the NCAA was Oklahoma State. There's still people there that think they got a really raw deal. And I'd kind of forgotten how raw of a deal they may have gotten until you went back and looked at it. You look at Dusty May's record, you said it. He put them back on track after the Juwan Howard years, 64-13 over his 2 seasons, and includes the national championship we just talked about. So, yeah, no doubt high-level success. They almost, Greg, I don't know that they had a choice other than to retain somebody on staff. Listen, this isn't from a timing standpoint really any different than what West Virginia went through with the Bob Huggins drama.
Sure.
Right? That was June 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So you're within a week's time period of when West Virginia was forced to deal with a sudden departure as well. Different circumstances, I realize, but timing similar to that. And you remember Ren Baker deciding to go Josh Eilert as the interim. You didn't have the experience on the staff that Michigan does with a Mike Boynton, who's been a head coach at a Power 4 program. So at least you have that. But I'm not sure they had an option. I mean, what are they going to go do? They're not going to get another college coach to leave at that point. So you're right, Greg. Try and keep that roster intact as much as you want, because trying to go into the portal now and get guys
What's left
of the portal, right? And so now you're just going to try and hang on to those guys, make the best of it this season, I think, and then try and start your search a year early as West Virginia did.
Look at it from a player perspective on the Michigan roster right now. Any chance that you would look to leave that program at this point in time? And, you know, I mean, there are a lot of players there probably could market themselves pretty well. Everybody seemingly sort of has a little wiggle room for a spot somewhere.
Well, there's your question, right? I mean, that will tell you your answer. Would they entertain leaving? I think every one of those guys has taken a multitude of phone calls today, right?
Yep.
And so the answer is yes. I think the question is, what do teams have in terms of not roster space, but cap space?
Yeah.
What do you have for your dollars that you can offer versus what Michigan has already guaranteed them in terms of pay? But certainly from a competitive standpoint, you have to have questions if you're those Michigan players. And I would think you would take some of those phone calls and see what offers are available. Who has some money left? Who can bring to the table some dollars maybe to free up some of those Michigan guys?
West Virginia's full.
Never
full. Never say never.
You just said it. Are you ever full?
Never.
In today's day and age, above the cap NIL, are you ever full? it'll be interesting to watch what happens, but it certainly changes the landscape significantly here. And I think also continues that message with college coaches. We've seen a bunch of them step away, and here's a guy that's what a meteoric rise Dusty May has had. From Florida Atlantic, gets them to a Final Four, then gets the Michigan job, now to the NBA in a matter of, 3 years since he was in the Final Four, and 4 years since he's been in the Final Four, and then to a national champion, now to the NBA. And Michigan is sent scrambling again. Not too unlike the Jim Harbaugh situation.
Yeah.
Michigan has been through this a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
Having to do something on an interim basis. Sharon Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon Moore. Yeah, Sharon Moore, which was turned into be a total disaster of a hire there. Certainly Mike Boynton seems to be a little more qualified to run that program, but it certainly changes the landscape of college basketball, no question.
No, I saw one national writer call the rise of Dusty May the most meteoric of recent times. And I was like, you know what, you can look over Joe Mazzulla and see a guy that went from Fairmont State and within a couple of years is the head coach at the Boston Celtics and winning championships. I'm not certain it quite equals that one, but it is. It's a heck of a rise.
That's a great point. It's a good one, but Joe Mazzulla would like a word if you're going to call it the most meteoric. I think he's got a lock on that. All right, we'll take your text. What happens with Michigan basketball now that Dusty May is out? We'll continue the discussion on that. If you'd like to text 304-8255, 304. Break to take. When we come back, we turn our attention to the Mountaineers. Let's talk some football. Coach Hunter has all the details on the latest verbals for the Mountaineer football team. We'll get into that next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. For years, rural communities in West Virginia waited for reliable, high-speed internet. Now, fiber is most likely at your front door. Public investment helped build the opportunity, and CityNet delivered the service to homes and businesses just like yours. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can count on, switching to fiber has never been easier. Fast downloads, smooth streaming, better connections for work, school, and everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve, with free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. Remember, CityNet connects, perfects. Greg, I was looking at listening to the rain there in the break. We got a little rain here coming.
We've got, actually tornado warnings in Montague and Marion County. So if you're in those areas, heck, your radio stations may have brought through the emergency warnings as well. But, I mean, it must be all over the East Coast. They've got some delays on World Cup games and clearing stadiums in Philadelphia. So...
Yeah, so we did just see that tornado warning pop up there. So if you're in this local area here, pay heed and also keep us posted on the text line, 304-8255-304. All right, we'll get back into college basketball here in just a second. I want to talk about the Mountaineers taking the floor last week for the first time. They were back in action today, getting some work in today over at the practice facility. We'll talk about some of the guys, what we saw over there. But first, let's dive into a little football here, Coach Hunter. And as you often say, recruiting never stops, and that is the case here we are in late June, and we're talking about recruits.
Yeah, and you probably have got another week or so of really probably news that's going to continue to churn on the recruiting front because you're still in camp mode and some of those things in which this is open. That starts to slow down in July for players who are coming in to Morgantown or whatever campus. So you're going to still see a lot of verbals over the course of the next week or two, and then it would start to slow down. And obviously once practices start for not only the colleges but the various high school programs in August, it'll back away. And again, it never truly stops, but it will slow down in comparison to what we've seen in recent times, because just over the weekend, West Virginia added 3, but then, of course, in recruiting world, you take 3 steps forward and you take 1 step back, because they did have a former verbal that has decommitted from West Virginia and is headed elsewhere. So let's start with the 3 that over the weekend have committed to West Virginia. First of all, you just came from Chicago. I guess you were on a recruiting trip to watch the long snapper, Warren Flatt from Aurora, Illinois. 6'5" long snapper, headed to West Virginia. And it, again, just shows the difference of the world. Used to be, all your specialists, for the most part, were guys that were way under the radar. You'd bring 8 of them in as walk-ons each year. They'd sort themselves out, and then, 1 or 2 of those would ultimately end up with jobs and earn a scholarship. Well, now, today's world with the roster caps that you have, you're scholarshiping those guys. Or when you bring them in, even if you gave them no money, still they're taking up a roster spot. So you're recruiting them just like you do scholarship players, and very well probably will be a scholarship player in Warren Flatt. So again, fills a need for West Virginia. McGuire Moss, the long snapper from the last couple years, and the likely one for this coming season, is a senior this fall. So West Virginia will be looking for a completely new long snapper.
I don't remember you introducing long snappers on here very often.
It doesn't happen often. I don't remember a commitment in sort of a true scholarship player in this mold this early. Every once in a while you've gotten one. I remember Coach Nealon taking a junior college long snapper years ago because they had a desperate need and scholarshiped him. But it's usually, in the past, even through the McGuire Moss, who's now going to be a 5th-year senior, they all came in as walk-ons and proved themselves from there.
We've talked about a bunch of long snappers over the years. Once they're here and arrived, I don't remember this when we're going through verbal commitments and you list one out. Sorry, there's a new one.
Yeah, there is a new one. But again, something I think it's not going to be the last time that we see this, because, again, roster limits, you're going to start doing this on a regular basis, but you're not going to do 5 of them either, like in the past, and let them sort themselves out. You got to really be judicious in what you go after, not just long snappers, but all your specialists, punters and kickers too. You're not going to have 10 of those guys standing around on the sidelines. You're going to have a couple. each at the most. So, but West Virginia has a long snapper. Then they go a little more conventional for the other two. Offensive lineman from Georgia. It's actually from Amari Latimer's high school. Was his blocking guard this past year at Sandy Creek High School in Tyrone, Georgia, which is just outside Atlanta, in Ryan Moore. Big kid, seen him, watched his highlight film, road grader type. Going to be an interior offensive lineman at West Virginia, plays guard at Sandy Creek, and like I said, opened the way for Latimer this past season. 6'4", 300, had a nice offer list of about a dozen Power 4 schools involved with him. And then West Virginia remains in Georgia for its other commitment this weekend. Actually now have 7 commitments out of the 22 that West Virginia have are from the state of Georgia. West Virginia also picks up Luke Linder, a tight end, 6'5", 215 pounds from Mableton, Georgia. Really nice blocker. He's going to need some more size at 215 pounds, but in a program where they've asked him to do a lot of blocking, and that physicality got West Virginia's attention and offered him, and he is the first tight end in this class. Ryan Moore is the third offensive lineman in this class. Like I said, 22 in all. It had been 23 until Monty Williams, a running back from Memphis, Tennessee, decided that instead of West Virginia, he wants to go to Auburn. So he'd been a kid who committed to West Virginia a couple of weeks ago, and then flips that just today, made the announcement that he is headed to Auburn. West Virginia does have another running back in this class, so that was the second. So likely we'll go out and look for more. It probably never stopped. But Williams, obviously, he's heading to an SEC school. You don't want to dismiss his ability, kid that you would have liked to have had, but going to be a Tiger instead of a Mountaineer.
Offensive lineman, other schools that were on him? You said what?
He had a list. He had Georgia Tech, Pitt, Purdue, North Carolina State. He had about a dozen Power 4 schools that were involved with him. So, like I said, big kid at 6'4", 300 pounds, thick kid, may even be more than 300 just watching him on film. Moves well, a little bit stiff in terms of tape. Going to need to develop a little bit, but obviously opened a lot of holes for Amari Latimer at Sandy Creek.
What are you seeing in the verbals so far? And again, the standard disclaimer here is you may get some more guys.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of these guys that have committed will ultimately end up here? That's something we'll keep track of, obviously. You see any trends? You see any things that surprise you? Are they after certain position groups ahead of another? Is it pretty well-rounded at this point?
I think in terms of position groups, you're getting a little bit of everything. Like I said, 3 offensive linemen, so it's not like it's, this huge, heavy offensive line class, but you are paying attention to that. You get a running back, you got a quarterback, several receivers, probably needs some more defensive backs before it's said and done, and West Virginia needs to find the ability to not only recruit but retain defensive backs. And when I get, for the most part, most of the high school kids they've gotten haven't turned out to be players that ultimately will have seen the field for West Virginia in recent years. Most of their defensive backs that have gotten on the field have been transfers. So you'd like to have some that have come up through the high school ranks and do it that way. So I think that will remain an important area for West Virginia, but they've been heavy after linebackers. Maybe the biggest surprise is just a little bit of geography. Like I said, Georgia, really heavy in this class with 7 commitments from the state of Georgia so far. And, we know Rich from his Jacksonville State days, and many in the staff have connections to the southeast, and obviously they're using a lot of those in the state of Georgia. So I see no reason that that's going to stop. And again, West Virginia's gotten kids from Georgia in the past, but to this number this early, I don't remember going after this or seeing them go after this many this quickly.
That's a good point. So that's 7 of the what? Did you say 23? 22
now with Williams.
Yeah, it's almost a third of that class.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. So again, what do you need still? You need everything, but there's also they've covered enough bases so far. You got 22 kids. It's not like you got 4, So you've got a little bit of everything, and you just need to continue to fill in all. I'm not even going to say holes, but just continue to build on that. And again, I can't even tell you what the number will ultimately be. 30-some probably. I don't think you go to 40 or 45, because then all of a sudden now with these roster limits that you have, and you're still going to go after transfers, now you're going to get pretty tight in terms of numbers. So probably 10, maybe 15 left. Every time I try to put a number on it, goes soaring way over that number.
That's right. So I wouldn't put a number on it there because it's going to go over. Speaking of football, WVU football in particular, I knew 3 guys before the game will be out in the next couple of days. I think you'll like it. Coach Hunter, we sat down with Michael Hawkins, one of the quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
We'd already talked to Scotty.
Came in January.
Yep, we talked to Scotty Fox. Now we're going to talk to Michael Hawkins.
Was this equal timing on the political side of things?
They're going to compete. We want to talk to them both, right?
Yeah,
and Scotty was wonderful. So we talked to him a while ago, and Michael was just tremendous. It was great to get to know him and hear his backstory a little bit and how he ended up here, why he ended up here, and what he brings to the table. But we'll.
You want to give us? I know we want people, or you want people to listen to it. I'm repping the 3 guys. I got the shirt on. But you want to give us one little tidbit that would entice people to listen?
We'll play some clips on here for you. We'll give you a little taste of it before you listen to the full thing. I just thought demeanor-wise, that's really what stood out to me. I mean, both of those guys, Fox and Hawkins, just you could see that they're leaders. Hawkins really, really calm dude, calm personality, on it. And you can tell he's got that little edge to him there, but he's really, really calm and just loved his demeanor. Easy to talk to, easy to be around. I can see why he's a leader as well, but kind of a quiet confidence permeates throughout him. So his demeanor was one that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, good. It'll be really interesting to listen to that when it comes out.
Yeah, it'll be out here within the next couple of days. So if you haven't already, subscribe to 3 Guys Before the Game. That'll be out, and we'll play some clips on this show too, so just in case you don't hear it on the podcast version, you'll get it here. But Michael Hawkins coming up a little bit later in the week. All right, your texts coming up here shortly, 304-8255, 304. That's 304-TALK 304. Let's get into those in a little bit. We'll also talk a little West Virginia hoops when we get back. What have we seen in the early days of practice? We'll talk about that next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
Life is busy. Your healthcare shouldn't slow you down. With WVU Medicine's My WVU Chart app, you can schedule your appointments anytime, anywhere, right from your phone or computer. Whether it's a virtual visit or an in-person checkup, booking is quick and easy. Don't have an account? Sign up today at mywvuchart.com or download the app. Take control of your health with WVU Medicine and My WVU Chart.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. A flood watch in effect until 11 p.m. Potentially severe storms today, with the main hazard being damaging winds, but some hail is also possible and an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. But the main concern will be flooding in the watch area until 11 p.m., where 1 to 2 inches or locally higher is very possible in this time frame. But then we quiet down Tuesday and Wednesday. Even during the day, Thursday should be mostly sunny. It would be later in the evening that widespread showers and storms return to the region. This evening, we have a front arriving from the northwest, and ahead of it is where the severe potential will be, mostly before 10 p.m. Non-severe storms may linger on the backside of that front overnight and then gradually push eastward through the day on Tuesday. But daytime accumulation, generally less than 1/10 of an inch, shouldn't be quite as wet of a day. Some fog possible overnight into Tuesday, then again overnight into Wednesday morning. Flies here W forecast. It starts at home. D.C., Atlanta, New York, Charlotte, Myrtle Beach. These areas seeing some lingering showers and storms from the same system Tuesday, then clearing out Wednesday and trending warmer at the end of the week ahead of the next rainmaker. Panhandle forecast. New Cumberland 57 tonight. Moundsville and Morgantown 59. We'll see about 76 to 79 here for our Tuesday. Davis 56 tonight, a bit milder toward Martinsburg's 64 low and 82 high. Back to Davis for a 67-degree high on Tuesday. Elkins 58 tonight, then 73 for Tuesday. Looking toward Parkersburg, Ripley for just shy of 80. And in southern West Virginia, mid-50s to low 60s tonight, then low 70s to low 80s on Tuesday. As mentioned, the rain will taper off to the east Tuesday, will dry out Wednesday. Rain returns late Thursday and will stay active through the weekend.
Welcome back inside the Health Plan Studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the Health Plan. Brad and Greg with you. Textline is open. We'll get to those here in just a minute. Anxious to hear from all of you. We'll talk a little basketball here first. Greg, did you guys get into the announcement from late last week about the Backyard Brawl basketball schedule? Did you talk about that?
Yeah, just a tad bit. And I'd like to know your opinion. Is this fall's or winter? I guess it'll still be fall at that point. But West Virginia Pitt game is going to be at PP&G Arena rather than the Peterson Event Center. Your thought?
Yeah, so part of the Backyard Basketball Classic at PBG Points Arena. So there'll be another game before West Virginia and Pitt. I think Greg, I think it's good for West Virginia, right? I mean, it's still in the city of Pittsburgh. I get it, but move it off of their home floor into this, not a neutral site, but a different site, not their home arena. You know, Mountaineer fans will be out there in full force. I think ultimately that's good as you're looking ahead, as West Virginia obviously comes off that historic win over Pitt last year, largest margin of defeat in the series at home, as West Virginia completely dominated the Panthers last year. So, yeah, looking forward to that one again, but I think I'm okay. I mean, if you're telling me you're going to move it off, if Pitt is deciding and agreeing to move it off their campus to go to another site, I'm in. Don't expect West Virginia to return the favor on that.
No, probably not.
I like that.
I've said it before. I mean, maybe a West Virginia guy shouldn't admit it, but I sort of like Peterson Event Center once you get inside, but parking can be a nightmare. It's in a part of the campus that's hard to get to. So for West Virginia fans trying to get there, that can be a little bit of a challenge. I like the arena itself. But PP&G is much easier to get to. It's a pro arena, so more parking, more ingress, egress, and the arena itself is bigger. So I think it's certainly conducive for West Virginia fans. I'll be interested to see who the other game is. We've been seeing West Virginia play these in Cleveland in recent years. Sometimes part of a triple header, and just go make a day of it, watch a bunch of basketball, and finish it off with the Mountaineers.
Yep, you're going to get 2 of them, and West Virginia and Pitt will be the second game of that day, and certainly looking forward to get that going. West Virginia is the announced opponent so far, or it's not shying from a schedule here. This is going to be a difficult non-conference for Ross Hodge and company in year 2. Coach Hunter, practice underway.
Yeah.
So they're doing a little bit of both right now. Okay. They're mixing in some individual skill work and some group skill work with some what you would consider more traditional practice.
At this point in time?
I don't remember what the number is. 10 hours a week, something like that? Yeah. So they're not going in there and grinding for 3 hours of practice, although Ross doesn't do that anyway, but they're getting in there for an hour, a little over an hour, and getting some work in. And today we were over there, and they not only did their skills and their shell drill type of things where they're working on team defense, but you got up and down and did a little controlled scrimmage type of things. And I'll say right now, you said it at the beginning, the couple of things that jump out to me as you're watching them. And again, this is very early, so we'll amend thoughts and discuss this as we move throughout the summer and the fall. But right away, the size jumps out to you. And talk about 3 of the bigger guys. And Amadou Sini, 7'1", 7'2" from Bella Vista, is a big dude, and you know that, right? You don't have to. I mean, you just see 7'1", 7'2" on there, and he's a big dude. What has impressed me and surprised me about him, he is way more agile and fluid and athletic than I thought at times it came through on TV when you've watched him. He busts it. You talk about a high motor, which is something you got to have. He has got an extremely high motor. He gets it and gets up the floor, and he's going to be a factor. I mean, he's going to get some minutes, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's 8 minutes a game, if it's 15 minutes a game, but given the way the roster's constructed, he's going to get some minutes in there, and I have been really impressed. Again, just a short sample size of watching him a couple times, but he can get up and go, and seemingly doesn't get tired, Greg. I mean, and that's a big dude. There's some times he's switched out at guarding on the perimeter and is able to slide his feet and move. He is way more athletic than I think I was expecting when he arrives. Mo Silla, we've talked about a ton, 6'10", 6'11", transfer from Georgia Tech. A lot of people thought he was a one and done coming out of high school as a top 30 national recruit. I'll just say this. Physically and skill-wise, Greg, as advertised. Now, he hasn't played in a long time, right? So there's some rust he's shaking off and getting back into the game, but seems to have a really high basketball IQ, and that's just a different dude. I mean, you look out there and go, that's what NBA players look like. Now, whether he gets all the way there, we'll see. Yeah. But that looks like an NBA type of player. And Alou Diem, the freshman from Bella Vista as well, that has come in at 6'10", 6'11" himself. Same thing, Greg. So you can tell he's still processing things at this level where everybody's a lot bigger, a lot better, a lot faster, and trying to understand the schemes that you're putting in place, as limited as that may be. But he's just got some raw athleticism and size. He can play on the perimeter. He can jump out and guard. He knocked down a 3 today from the corner, so he was impressive as well. And again, how much you need him remains to be seen, but he comes in as, even if he's your project type of guy, he's got some impressive skills. The point guard, Miles Sadler. I mean, we're gonna have fun. Yeah, we're gonna have fun with Miles Sadler. You know, he told us on the podcast that he's been timed at 4.4 in a 40. We don't talk about basketball foot speed in terms of a 40, if ever. Like, talk about something that you do for the first time. I'm not sure I've ever heard a basketball player tell me their 40 time, other than Jackson Fields last year told me the same thing. Miles said he was a 4.4. Not hard to believe, and I might go low. I might take the under on that after watching him get up and down the floor. And what stands out to me with him so far early is what did on TV as well. His ability to pass the ball, and it comes out so quickly, and it's seemingly in the right spot on each pass, whether that's setting somebody up for a jumper or the lob. He had one today, Greg. He was going left out near the three-point line. He took it off the left-handed dribble, scooped it for an alley-oop, went up to Silla, who was coming the opposite side for an alley-oop dunk. Jaw-dropping. So he's going to have to learn to play at this level, right, where guys are going to get more physical with him and try and body him and try and bump him. And as we saw with Honor Huff last year, how physical everybody was against him. The challenge for Miles is he's going to start with the ball in his hand. Remember how Ross eventually got switched over there, where you tried to get Honor initiating offense a little bit more, because it's hard to bottle those guys up when they have the ball and they're coming at you full speed. That's Sadler's natural position. Honor, you were having to work into that. Sadler's obviously used to having the ball in his hands and is lightning fast. So certainly some ability up front. We know point guard, just based on reputation, looks good. What about the wings? Bizjack and Sannon, what were your thoughts? Josan Sannon, I'm really excited about. I think that kid has a chance. Same thing as Silla. A lot of people thought he might be one and done coming out of Arizona State. He ends up transferring to St. John's, where did not have the season that he thought he was going to have in year 2. But what I like, and we talked about this when he committed, the things I like, first of all, an elite, a supremely talented kid, right? Can shoot it, can get his own shot. But he's coming from a system, even though he didn't have the success on the floor, it's not like he wasn't coached hard by Rick Pitino. So getting coached hard isn't going to be a problem, right? He was last year. And he was asked to play defense a lot last year. This isn't a guy that's going to come in and be like, oh, what is it? You want me to play defense? I don't know about that, right? I mean, Rick Pitino's making you guard. So he's coming in. It won't shock me if this guy ends up as your best perimeter defender. And that's saying something with Seydou Traore on the team, who we saw from Utah last year. Sannon is supremely skilled and talented and a really good athlete and busts it. His motors looked really good. Again, I know we're only a week in here, so don't print your national championship tickets yet. But you've got pieces. My first impressions are really good. I mean, I saw a group that was picking up the defensive shell much quicker than they did previously last year. I saw guys that were just faster and quicker to the ball. You just have a more speed on the floor, And again, I'm taking some football terms here and bringing them over to basketball. So what's that do for you? Well, if you're a step slow or a step out of position on a skip pass, your ability to get back and close, if you're that much faster, makes it look a little better. So yeah, you got caught out of position. Guess what? Mosilla was out of position. He came over and just put it in the second row on a block shot.
Yeah.
Right? You get a little bit of that as well. So overall, I mean, I could spend an hour going down each player on the roster. We won't tonight. A lot of summer left to talk about this, but overall impressions were really good right off the bat.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like I said, everybody's in, they're going at it. So it is amazing. But
Traore's like we thought, big, right? So you put him and Sannon at the wings. Javen Buchanan has some size, the transfer from Boise State. They've got some pieces. There's no question that they did, as we thought when you saw it on paper, they did a tremendous job in the portal of getting guys and getting different pieces to fit and to mesh together in terms of playing style. Again, you've got some leapers and some guys that can go get it, and you've got a point guard that's elite at throwing lobs. So you're going to see a bunch of lobs this year to multiple guys. So I just, again, like how they're constructed here early on in the summer.
Shooters anywhere?
Yeah, a bunch of different guys. I mean, we know Miles can shoot it. Finley Bizjack can shoot it. Traore, I watched him today in practice, and nobody was on him. It was shooting after practice, made like 17 in a row, and he's not known for his shooting. He could do it. Somerville can knock down a three. The bigs can step out, most of them, and hit shots. So, yeah, I think you've got the pieces there. This will be fun.
Yeah, different style this year, though. Right?
Yeah.
Than last, just because you had different ingredients, different talent levels.
Correct. Yeah, when you have... remember last year, you had a point guard in Jasper who, again, as we talked so often, had an elite season in terms of on-ball defense primarily and controlling the offense. But his game wasn't suited to run up and down the floor as fast as you can. His game was suited to control pace and to exploit matchups, which you did. Harlan Obioha, elite defensively, was not built physically to get into a running game up and down the floor. So you had some guys that were built to play in a slower half-court fashion, which is what we did last year, right? And that was the point in doing that in that league. That gave you the best chance to win. I don't think there's any doubt you're going to see the offense opened up a little bit this year, primarily because you've got a point guard that's ultra fast and can push, and you've got bigs that can get up and down the floor and run. All three of those. It didn't matter if it's Diem, Cini, or Silla that's in there. All three of those guys can get up and down the floor. So if you've got a point guard that's elite at running and you've got bigs that can run the floor, then you're probably going to turn it up a little bit more. It doesn't matter what else everybody else does. Those positions can run. You're going to run a little bit. It was fun.
Makes sense.
Now, that was a more extensive breakdown of the basketball roster than we normally do on June 22nd. But it was a first look at them, and I think I think you'll be excited when they finally take the floor. All right, break to take. When we come back, your texts, they're not in yet. Get them in, 304-8255-304. We'll dive into that next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline
returns in 2 minutes
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
And we're back. CityNet's statewide Sportsline continues. Monday edition up on one of our screens here. We're about 20 minutes away from the start of the College World Series final. Beautiful night in Omaha, Greg. They got lucky this year. I'm going to tell you what, when we were out there, it was beautiful weather. Like normally you can be out there and it's 85 with 1,000% humidity. It was not that. It was 70s beautiful. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they lost a single game to weather this entire time, which is also remarkable. But coming up here in 20 minutes, it's going to be Oklahoma and Carolina for the title.
You want to? I mean, you were there. You want to make a prediction as to who will emerge from this?
No,
Split 1-1.
I don't.
So far,
I don't, because to be honest, I haven't dove into Oklahoma enough. I watched them for a couple of innings live while I was there, but have not looked at this matchup. I will say my default would be to North Carolina because of that pitching depth. And it's Oklahoma's just such an interesting story, as we talked about. That was a very mediocre team throughout the season and just got hot at the right time. And obviously a good team. Their record was mediocre throughout the whole season. And they've got guys. That Carolina pitching staff's been pretty impressive. That's not an official prediction, but I would lean that way.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. They get to another 100 pitches from that freshman who they pretty much just throw out there every game for about 5 innings, and but he's so elite. They can get to him, and he's still got juice in the tank. They're going to be hard to beat.
Texter says, back to the College World Series, great series, and a great time for all the West Virginia fans, but one question is still with me. The first batter for North Carolina in the first game struck out, but he kept batting. Why wasn't that reviewed? I always thought if you swung at the pitch and miss it, then it hit you, you were out. What was the call? I don't know that I remember that.
So many things have happened.
I'm sorry to the texter there. Yeah, there's been a lot of things happened since that moment. I don't totally remember that, to be honest. Texter, does anything stop Michigan from going out and trying to hire a basketball coach from another college school? Money talks. It does, and no, nothing prevents them from going out to hire another coach. That would surprise me. But yeah, money talks. But that would surprise me if it's a current sitting head coach at a D1 institution. I think the fact they moved so quickly to announce Mike Boynton tells you that's their plan too, is they're going to try and keep that roster together, go through this year, and then have a year to regroup rather than trying to hire somebody away on June 22nd.
Yeah, as you said, I think keeping the roster together as much as possible is what they're going for, because anybody you'd bring in from the outside likely is going to lead to some attrition within the ranks. And there may be anyways, but at least they feel it's apparent that if they stay in-house, they have a better chance of retaining as many as possible.
You know where baseball is just so tough, college baseball in particular? So here we are at the championship game, and North Carolina's throwing a kid that hasn't started since May 12th. So it's over a month since he started, right? Because you're just trying to piece together in Game 3 here what your third starter looks like. So Carolina's going with a kid that has not started since May 12th. Texter, as hard as it is to get to the College World Series in baseball, do you think West Virginia will make it back there again? Well, listen, you said two things there. One, in terms of where this program has now put itself, it's not one that is still rising. It is one that has arrived. This is a tremendous baseball program and one that should be considered a national power at this point, given what it's done over the last 3 years in particular. So do I think they'll get back there again? I do, but you said it in the first part. It is just so extremely difficult. LSU didn't return this year.
Didn't even make the tournament. They'd won 2 of the last 3 national championships.
And you're right.
Didn't even make the tournament.
It's amazing. And we've said it probably ad nauseum to you listeners that listen every night. But West Virginia and North Carolina, the only 2 programs to make 3 straight super regionals. So that just tells you just the difficulty that it is to try and get back to the College World Series. North Carolina in its 13th College World Series, playing for its first national championship. So it's hard. Would I say yes? Yeah, I think the easy answer is yes, because they've got it rolling. They've got the right coach in place. They've got an advantage, I think, for a few years here at least with the biomechanical center that helps in recruiting and NIL and development of your current players. And I think you've absolutely got it rolling to the point that, yeah, you feel good about that, but it's hard, man. It's injuries. It's all kinds of things can derail you. Just hard is the bottom line.
No, I think you got exactly. I do think the window is open for this program to continue to be elite level. I don't know if that means, College World Series, but the hard thing is, and this is a baseball thing, and it's been a baseball thing for a long time. Your roster turns over so much, and Randy Mazey and now Steve Sabins have been great at finding, diamonds in the portal. But some point in time, you're not going to hit 100% like they've been hitting.
They've been hitting a ton.
Oh, exactly. I mean, just the luck of the draw, at some point, it's not going to work for you as well it's worked for the last 4 or 5 years. And when that happens, you take a downturn, just like LSU or whomever has been out there. But if you look at those that don't make it, it's amazing. Like I said, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Pitt, those that are around this area have not produced baseball programs of any substance. And that helps West Virginia because you can now go out and pluck kids above them from those areas without that kind of competition.
Did the Big Ten drop baseball?
It might as well.
They still have it?
Yeah.
They got 4 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. 3 of them were Pac-12 teams, and the 4th was Nebraska that's not even a real Big Ten team. All due respect, of course, to the Big Ten.
It is amazing. I mean, how can Ohio State and Michigan not be good, right? With the resources they have at their disposal.
Yeah.
Penn State, same way. And they're not. Penn State's made 1 NCAA tournament, hadn't even gotten it deep in the last 50 years.
I do think that's one of the things, and it is an advantage, I think, and it's certainly true for West Virginia baseball right now, but it's clear that it isn't just fans that care about that program.
Yeah.
Right? Administratively, you care about baseball. The move to the scholarships was a massive move. The foresight to get BioPrecision into the biomechanical center and hire the way they have hired shows that you care about the success of the sport. That's not one that you're sponsoring the sport. It is a priority at West Virginia and is being treated as such, and that's a major factor.
And you were around for the Big East days, and I'll admit, when West Virginia got into the Big 12, the one sport I thought they could not compete in was baseball. But I think in a lot of ways, I mean, not in a lot of ways, I think it's actually had the opposite effect of what I thought. I thought it would be a program killer, but I think, it's risen the tide of this program. Because all of a sudden it puts you in a much better conference, and now you've been able to recruit to it and continue to expand. I don't think you could have done this if you remained in the Big East.
Well, but again, it was just such a different era because you wouldn't fund a Big East baseball program like you were. Forced is too strong of a word, but as you recognize that you needed to compete in the Big 12, right? Getting to a College World Series out of a Northeast league was such a much further goal down the line, or a much harder goal to achieve than it was when you're looking at this league and you're saying, all right, this is a big league here. Like you can't not support it, right? I know double negative there. And you did. So again, it led you in the direction of the support, and then you had some success to go with it. And again, a lot of credit as it should be due to Randy Mazey for getting the thing up and going and showing that, okay, you can have some success here. Then it was a whole nother leap to get it to sustained success, right? That's where it's been a challenge. I think, to me, that's the most impressive part of the last couple of seasons is it wasn't just a drop. It has been sustained high-level success, certainly for the last 3. And you could argue, you could go back a little bit before that, where you've been hosting and you've been in this mix.
Yeah.
But the last 3 in particular, to be one of only 2 to get to the Supers like that is pretty remarkable.
We'll see what next year holds. But you like building around Gavin Kelly.
Good starting point, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, music's on. Got a lot in tonight.
Yeah, very much so.
Football, basketball breakdown as if it was November with the first game coming, and heavy baseball. We'll be back tomorrow. We got a lot to get into all week. We got a little women's basketball coming up for you tomorrow night. And as I mentioned, Michael Hawkins coming out soon on 3 Guys Before the Game. So be ready for that. Hit the subscribe button, and you'll be ready when it hits your feed. That'll do it for us. For Greg, I'm Brad. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the texts. We'll be back, and we'll do it again tomorrow night at 6:06. We'll talk to you then. Have a good night.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network.
All rights reserved.